Happy Tuesday, everybody. This is April 4, 2023. Hope you're having a great day so far. And if you like the content, please click like on my video. There's a thumb sign below. It only takes 1 second to like, so please do that. All right. Starting with the MES chart. So I was expecting this pullback. I was telling you guys yesterday, this is a pullback. We are in this sell zone. Now we are below this sell zone. So now we're looking for dip and we are looking to buy this dip. Okay. Now, I don't know when this pullback will end. Probably most likely this week. When this pullback ends, we're looking to buy this dip for a next leg higher. So my targets are 42.95. So that's what I'm expecting. So as of now, nothing changed. There is this cycle coming here around April. So it's possible we can have a little bit chop here and then maybe a little bit more pullback. And then we go higher, or it's possible we can start going higher anytime. Okay, you can see this is a minor cycle, but there's also a bigger cycle here. You see this light blue cycle? This is another cycle. So I'm expecting this cycle to kind of put pressure on this downwards momentum. So when we're going down, there will be this upwards momentum coming along from this bigger cycle. And also there's another, this white cycle, sorry, this another third cycle. So expectation is to go higher. So this dump which we will get, it's not going to be like a crash. It's just going to be a dump which will be bought by everybody, and then we're going to look for another leg higher. Okay, the real risk is here, which is going to be in June time frame here. Okay, this is the real risk, not this one. This dump should be bought. Okay. All right, so now we are below this sell zone. Also, let's quickly show you my Thinkorswim chart. We are in this sell zone. Actually, we came below this sell zone. You can see today, I told you guys I do nothing in the sell zone, and now we are below this. Okay, so the closer we go to this yellow line, the better it is to go to the long side. Okay, so that's what I'm looking. And also this zone, it can go as high as almost 4,300. So let's go back to our chart here. This sell zone is huge. So in this sell zone, I was telling you guys I'm looking to do nothing, just relax. I'll wait for a better entry. My ideal target is here in the buy zone. Okay, so that can happen sometime in summer, so we'll wait for that and then we'll buy near that zone. Okay, now going to SPY chart, which is basically ETF for S&P 500. You can see we are having a pullback. We had this 408 gap that's closed. There are two gaps on the top, which is 421 and 427. So this pullback we're looking to buy. These green lines are the gaps to fill. So most likely at least this first gap around 403, 404, it could be filled. So this dip will be bought. Okay, we started this dip today. Let's see how many more days of dip we get, and this dip will be bought for a pump higher later on in April. All right, so don't be too short on this. Okay, look to buy the dip. All right, and going to VIX quickly before we go to Nasdaq. VIX had a pump and then it got crushed again. Okay, so it's not able to cross above 20. You can see yesterday also it tried to cross above that. It pumped, dumped. Today also it tried and it dumped. Okay, so only 2% high. As long as it's below 20, nothing to worry. Okay, SPY was kind of down. It was down heavily in the morning. One thing to note, this 10 EM, this green line is 10 MA. Okay, it's still far away. Okay, so I would like to see this price action getting close to this green line. You can see whenever it goes far away from this green line, price comes back to touch this green MA. Okay, so I ideally would like this price to go and come near this green line. All right, okay, so that's on S&P 500. Let's go to Nasdaq. So Nasdaq basically again looking for this a little bit of sell-off. It was almost flat today. So Nasdaq triple Qs was almost 0.34%, almost flat. It maybe felt like a lot more dump compared to S&P, but it was basically nothing. So looks like we are flagging here. I'm looking for a little bit more dip. You can see this green line, which this is 10 MA, 10 moving average. It's coming closer to this price action. So that's a good sign. And also we have a very good and very strong bull trend. Okay, what does bull trend mean? Green line, fast moving lines have good separation between each other. This is 200 SMA, 50 SMA, 20 MA, and then green is 10 MA. All they have good separation. So every time we get a dump, all these will act like a support. Okay, the price can find support in any of these moving averages and then bounce. All right, so I'm still looking for more highs here. My target on Nasdaq, my first couple of targets is if I show you triple Qs, my targets are 322 and 328. Okay, these are gap fills. It came today very close to filling this gap in the morning, then dumped, but then again it recovered very nice towards the end. So those are my targets. So eventually 328 will be achieved, and then that's when you can take all your profits and look to short. Okay, for a dump in summer later on. All right, moving along to US 30, which is Dow Jones, slightly down today, 0.5%. Looks like it's topping out now, so it needs a little bit of dump, and then it's going to look for another pump along with the market. So a little bit of weakness, and then I'm looking for another pump. All right, that's what I'm looking for. This US 2000, you can see my chart here. As I said yesterday, go look at my videos from last couple of days. I'm saying there's a lot of significant weakness coming here, so it's possible it can make us equal low or even lower low. So this May time frame is very weak for US 2000. This consists of small companies, 2000 companies in America, consist of a lot of regional banking sector. So that's why it's very weak. All banks were very weak today. So that's the reason S&P 500 did worse than triple Qs, which is Nasdaq. Oil basically just chopping around here, but eventually this big gap will be filled. So I'm not really bullish. I'm looking to dump all energy stock. Basically, there's a big gap here, and I can show you even with this pump today, you can see all these energy sector was down heavily. It's down 1.8%. At one point, it was down really big. You can see this big, massive gap. This will be filled. And also, there are these other two gaps. And also, there's this bigger gap here. So this will be my target eventually to buy energy sector. Okay, I'm not bullish on energy sector. I think it's just gonna, even with Green Day, it was down 2% energy sector. What happens when we get this massive dump? Okay, so very careful in energy sector right now. Natural gas, just testing patience. Again, this is my cycle low coming 10th of April, getting very close. It's a good time to buy coming very soon. So you should be looking to buying here. Not a lot in natural gas. Bitcoin is just chopping around, flagging. So I do expect a little bit more weakness. It can happen now. Let's quickly go to Bitcoin futures. You can see I'm looking for a little bit of dump around 24K. So that dump should be bought. Okay, if we get this dump soon, it's going to be good. Else it can chop around, and then this is a risk here around 15th May, and then most risk is here. So that will be really significant area. So basically, if I go to live Bitcoin, you can see this is the area. So actually, I should kind of fix this as well because they are contradicting. So I think eventually I'm looking for this dump here. This is the biggest risk here. Okay, so a little bit of dump, then a pull, then a pump, and then again a pullback. This is the significant risk, and it can go as long as as below as 20K as well. So you got to be very careful in this dump, which we're gonna get eventually in summer. So let me make this a bit red right now so that you guys can see what I'm trying to say. Okay, Ethereum is same as that, basically just chopping around. You can see it's making a newer high, but on negative divergence on PPO and RSI. Let's go to live market and see if we see anything different. The same thing, you can see negative divergence on PPO and RSI. So basically price is going higher, but PPO and RSI is going lower, right? So that's not a good sign. So basically a dump is coming anytime, all right? Dollar basically going lower, and my projection is here sometime around July we will look for new lows here, so significant weakness. That's why gold and Bitcoin are pumping. Gold made a new high today, but it's still it looks like there is some little bit of divergence. You can see on PPO it made a new high but lower momentum. RSI also you can say we made a new high, but it's on lower momentum. Okay, you can see price is going higher, but PPO and RSI is going lower. So it looks like this is like a fake rally, I think, but eventually this should stall, and I'm not looking to buy here. I'm looking to buy around 1900. Okay, so I'll wait patiently for gold to hit 1900 support zone. All right, and silver, wow, massive move today. Again, it made a new high. So now looking for some pullback along with gold. So not interested in silver at these levels. It's too high for me to buy. TNX is mortgage rates dumped heavily today, almost 3%. Looking for these bottom gaps to fill. Bonds, which are basically safety stock. You can see it's pumping high. It's above this 200 SMA. The day it closed above that, I told you it's bullish. So looking for some more upside before the dump later on. Okay, let's quickly look at all the sectors. I already covered XLE. Looking for this gap to fill, then eventually this massive gap to fill. This is my buy target. XLU is just flat. Utility sector looking good. You can buy any utility stocks. They pay heavy dividends. You can buy even Enbridge. Let's see how it did today. This one was kind of flat, but this one has a good dividend, almost around 90 cents. XLV was up today, but a little bit of cool down. Also, still good sectors to buy. You can buy UNH. Basically, that's one of the good healthcare stocks. Also, there's a gap here, so maybe whenever you get a cool down, you should look to buy that. Pfizer also you can look to buy. Still very cheap, Pfizer. So yeah, you can see it's still very cheap. It's going to eventually just pump. There's divergence. You can see price going lower. PPO is higher. RSI is going higher. You should look to buy these. Financials, I have this projection here. You can see significant weakness I'm expecting. It's doing exactly as I said. So not interested right now. Looking for a new low or equal low before I buy this. Industrial, same as Dow Jones. Looking for a little bit more weakness and then a pump. All right. Real estate kind of flat today, but there are multiple gaps. So looking for a little bit of gaps to fill before a pump higher. All right. Let's quickly look at some tech stocks. Tesla was basically down more than 1%. If I go to 1 hour chart, it's broken this trend line, okay, which is not a good sign. This trend line is broken. Now there is a gap here around 183. That's going to be my final target. If you get some more weakness from today's close, it's around, let's say around 4.54%, 4.5%. If this gap is filled, I will have a good sleep at night because this passive gap is a big of headache. It can price is not able to go above and close this above gap. There's two gaps. There's one gap around here. There's a one gap around here. I think most likely it's possible it can come to fill this gap and then go higher. But regardless, or it can go higher from here directly. Regardless how Tesla goes. One thing to note, I'm not looking to short. I'm just waiting for this gap patiently to fill. I'm not holding any leverage ETFs. Just wait patiently for this gap to fill. And when that gap fills, there are multiple gaps up. So a lot of upside targets on this. Okay. Let's quickly look at Apple. Let's see what's going on. Cooling off a bit. You can see there's divergence on PPO and RSI here on daily on Apple. Okay. But it's not confirmed. RSI, you can see what does confirm mean? Confirm means this green line is to cross red line. Okay, it's still up. You can see RSI is still up. So until that happens, I'm not kind of interested. Apple, this is not a zone to buy. You can see there's resistance, coming very close to this resistance. This green line, this white dotted line. Let me make it solid for you to see what I'm trying to tell you. You can see this solid line very close to resistance. It's going to be better for a little bit of cool down. Little bit of cool down is very healthy for Apple. So, and also there's this trend line on Apple. Let's make it solid as well, this trend line. So you can this trend line. So a little bit of cool down on this trend line, and there's a gap here that will be very healthy for the market for next leg higher. All right. Amazon, basically 1.5% up today. Also, it's coming very close to this 50 EMA and 50 SMA. So maybe it's possible it will go a little bit higher and then cool down and then go hit this target. But again, I'm not looking for shorting Amazon chart. There are no signs for me to short this. Google just consolidating. Also, there's divergence on PPO and RSI, same as Apple. Price is going, actually, there's no, price is not going higher here. I take my words back. Still not high, okay? So it's still on this trend line, so still looking good. Actually, it filled this gap, so we can get rid of this today. So there are multiple gaps up, so any of these gaps can be filled. Meta has huge divergence. You can see divergence on RSI and PPO. Price is going higher, but PPO and RSI are going lower, okay? So you can see Meta still divergence. So a little bit of coolness to fill any of these green gaps. Green line are the gaps. Top yellow lines are also gaps, okay? So it can fill any of these gaps. Netflix kind of flat today as well, so nothing wrong. Looking for a little bit pullback to fill one of these gaps, then a pump higher later on. Microsoft is flat again. Is there divergence on PPO? Almost very slight divergence on PPO. RSI also have very slight divergence, so it's possible it can pull back, fill this gap, and then pump higher. Snowflake, very bullish move. Yesterday, day before yesterday, had a breakout, back test of this 50 SMA line, and now going higher. Okay, it's closed above this 200 SMA, which is a very, very, very bullish sign. Okay, closing anytime we price close above SMA line, 200 SMA line, it's very bullish. Okay. Nvidia cooling down. Basically, you can see it can you can draw a trend line. It's now we're looking for price to come on this trend line. There's this gap around 264. It's quite possible it can fill that before pumping higher. Okay, these are upside targets 289 and 312. Nvidia kind of flat, multiple gaps towards the downside and right in this resistance zone. You can see this green red resistance zone. Let me look. Also, there's this trend line. So it's possible we can touch this trend line, have another pull, another run higher, so like this, and then it's also possible. So that's what I'm expecting, and then eventually looking for a dump. Okay, let's see if this 1 hour gap filled or not on AMD. Not quite, slightly, came very close and were not able to fill it. Okay guys, that's it. Please, on your way out, like my video if you haven't yet. Click on that like button and have a good rest of the day, and have a happy Tuesday. Bye.